We have a new Prime Minister and a new Chancellor of the Exchequer working with a very thin majority of one. A majority most say that will or is likely to be challenged by the upcoming Brexit deadline. What do we know about Conservative tax policy though? Well, nothing yet officially, but we can get quite a lot from, at least in relation to the sort of general direction of travel, in relation to what the Prime Minister said when campaigning for the leadership. We know that it's likely to be a government that aspires to have a low tax environment. They seem to be following the well-known Laffer principle that lower taxes will actually mean that you gather more taxes in. So what has been actually said, as I said, not too much specific, but we do know that Boris Johnson favours a higher rate threshold, i.e. a raising of the threshold above which higher rates become payable. He's been talking about a 30,000 increase on the current 50,000 threshold, so moving it up to 80,000. Now, what would go along with that, although it's been unsaid so far, is a raising of the upper earnings limit for national insurance. So you'd be losing tax as a government on one hand by the higher threshold and gaining a bit more national insurance because the upper earnings limit has gone up. It's also talked about raising the lower earnings limit above which you pay national insurance, so to take a few more people out of national insurance, but without stating a specific sum, I think. We're also looking at lower corporation tax rates. He favours that, but we haven't had a specific rate to anchor it to. Mr Hunt stated when he was campaigning 12.5%, but we've had nothing like that from Boris. Remember, we do have a 17% rate at the moment. There also seems to be some favour given to reducing the highest stamp duty land tax rate and raising the threshold before you pay SDLT. So all of those things are in the mix. Generally, as you can see, lower tax rates seem to be the order of the day. But when will we get clarity? As I said earlier in this recording, the budget. When are we going to get the budget? Well, we're in summer recess at the moment, then we come back for a very short while, and then we've got a further kind of recess where everyone goes away to prepare for and deliver the party conferences. We've had a statement though from Dominic Cummings, a senior government advisor, that we could be looking, and quite seriously looking, at a budget on the 7th of October. It's been badged an emergency budget, but that's hardly an emergency if we're talking about October in my book. And we usually expect an autumn budget, or that will be fairly early in the autumn. So 7th of October is a date we've been given, so we'll have to watch out for that. Things that could impact on taxation that could have to be, or that will have to be taken into account in addition to those aspirations for low tax, are likely continuing generally gloomy economic forecasts in the wake of whatever Brexit ends up being. It all seems to be comparatively gloomy. And then we've also got the need, possibly, depending on what happens, for some kind of economic boost as a result of Brexit. So those two things will also have to be taken into account with tax policy to go along with an underlying aspiration to have lower taxes. If there was ever a time to say, watch this space being TechLink, this is it. So do that, watch this space.